Okay, in this lesson we're going to be looking at swing bowing. Swing is an essential part of jazz, and for a violinist, getting the bowing is one of the most important things. Swing melodies are written in sheet music with equal eighth notes, that's the quavers, but in fact they're played uneven. So whereas they're written, they'll be played. This is achieved with short, uneven bows, where every second note is shorter or even ghosted, by which I mean it almost disappears. So a ghosted note would be like this. You can practice your scales like this. What we've done so far is just separate bows, but there's a problem with this, because as you play separate bows, you eventually run out of bow because you're doing a long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. The way to get around this is by using bowing patterns which use slurs. Probably the most common one of these is what's called chain bowing, and this consists of starting off with a down bow and then slurring pairs. So that gives a very even sound, it swings nicely, and it's easy to do. A couple of other patterns which are slightly more interesting. The first one is what I call the 1 and 3. And as you can see, that consists of 1 down bow and 3 slurred up bows. And this is a nice pattern because it gives a bit of a punch. Ba ba doo ba da ba doo ba da ba doo ba da. Another pattern is what I call the 5 and 3, and this is 5 separate bows and 3 slurred bows. And this is nice because it gives a syncopation where we get the ba ba da ba da ba 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 da ba da ba. So, in practice, which of these are you going to actually use? And the answer, unfortunately, is all of them. And what you need to do is master each one and be able to switch between them without really thinking about it at all. And this is an example of something where learning the thing in the first place is very easy. It'll only require a few minutes' work. Getting that to be so automatic that you don't have to think about it may be a question of weeks, months, or even years. Now, a tune that we can use to practice all of these different patterns is a tune I've written called Swing in the Scale. Now, when you're playing improvisations, you will use these patterns, but you won't generally use scales in the way that we've just used them. That is to say, from bottom to top and back down again. What you use is fragments of scales or patterns based on scales. And here's an example of a Stefan Grappelli type phrase where he makes a kind of a pattern, what I call a descending cascade, using a scale.